Welcome. Today we are going to count down my top 10 favorite soundtracks in movies of all time. Now this is only going to be hip hop soundtrack. We're not going to do anything like Titanic or Star Wars or anything like that. But as you know, the music can really set the tone in a movie. It can set the tone for a scary scene, a jam-packed action scene, a romance scene, and the music involved also can hype up, promote, and can do a lot. Think of Star Wars theme. Oh my god, everybody knows the Star Wars theme. Everybody knows Celine Dion and Titanic. So like, as you know, musical score and soundtrack are very big, but today we're going to count down my top 10. Okay, number 10, we're going to start off with Tales from the Hood. I actually love this soundtrack. I think this soundtrack actually went under the radar. It had Grave Diggers on it. It had Old Dirty Bastard with 12 O'Clock. It had Inspector Deck. Domino had a popular song on there and everything. But this is a soundtrack I think really went under the radar. There's probably like maybe 3 or 4 tracks I wasn't too crazy about, but overall it was solid and it fit the movie theme very well. So I got to go with Tales from the Hood at number 10. Number 9. This one was actually pretty cool. It was Sunset Park. I gotta go with Sunset Park. As you know, Onyx with Fredo Starr playing in the movie. He had an impact on the soundtrack. Tupac is on it. Ghostface Killah, Motherless Child was a big hit from this one. So I gotta go with Sunset Park. Had a few R&B cuts. Queen Latifah was on it. Number 9, Sunset Park. Number 8, we're now going to take it to the West Coast, and MC8 murdered this soundtrack with his hit single, Straight Up Menace. Also, UGK's Pocket Full of Stone is on there, Spice One, Trigger's Got No Heart, very big West Coast, and MC8's song, very impact. He basically told you the story of the movie without even having to watch the movie. So number 8 is Menace to Society. Number 7, we're going to go with a guy who was in the movie, but I was really disappointed that he wasn't on the soundtrack. We're gonna go with Juice. Yeah, my man Tupac playing Bishop. Rakim was on the soundtrack. Teddy Riley. Oh man, this soundtrack was big. Cypress Hill, Salt and Pepper. I love this soundtrack. It's old school. It may not hold so well today with today's audience, but the old school fans love it. I gotta go with Juice as number 7. Number 6, oh yeah, the Wu Garment song. Oh yes, it was on this one. We're going with High School High. I didn't like the movie very much, but the soundtrack, RZA, Method Man, Capadonna, You God, Inspector Deck, so that lets you know Wu-Tang was all over this one. Tribe Called Quest was on it, KRS-One, so some big hip-hop people was on this one. Little Kim. I gotta go with High School High, number 6. Number 6, this one might shock a lot of people, but I gotta go with Soul in the Hole. I love this soundtrack. It was very well put together. Wu-Tang is on it, Cellar Dwellers, Big Pun, rest in peace Big Pun, I already said Cellar Dwellers, Exhibit, Mobb Deep, man, Dead Prez. This soundtrack was just off the hook. It was all over the place. Shaheem is on it. I gotta go with Soul in the Hole. Number 5. This one was kind of a documentary movie, but I gotta go with Rhyme and Reason. This soundtrack was so hard, you know what I'm saying, with Mac 10 and Dog Pound. Basically Wu-Tang was on it again. Well, it was RZA's solo song on there. Tragedy, Crucial Conflict, 8-Ball MJG, Helter Skelter, Cannabis, Guru. I didn't like the Master P track on there, but overall I gotta go with Rhyme and Reason as number 5. With number 4, I'm kind of cheating here. Dame Grease's Vacant Lot Live on Lennox compilation album was never officially a soundtrack for the movie Turn It Up, which featured Pras and Ja Rule, but if you watch the movie, you would hear all the songs from the compilation pretty much on this movie, and it really covered it very well. So I personally will add it on to my countdown as number 4. And the compilation did feature DMX, Nori, Cameron, Madison, and it was so dope. Hot Ones was also on there. It's so amazing, man, and a lot of people even forgot who Dame Grease was, and those who remember, he is responsible for DMX's first album, Is Dark and Hell Is Hot. He probably produced like 85% of the beats on there, but he kind of got forgotten once Rough Riders Anthem came out, which was produced by Swiss Beats. But Dame Grease is responsible for DMX's classic album, so I gotta go with Dame Grease's Live on Lennox Vacant Lot as number 4. Number 3, this one was major. Oh man, the movie did not even come out everywhere, but the soundtrack had a huge impact in hip hop. It had 2 volumes. You had to wait 2 weeks later, I believe, to get volume 2. But volume 1, Outkast Benza Beamer was on it, Ill and Out Scratch, MC8, Black Panther was on it. Mac Mall from the West Coast for you guys out there. Volume 2 had Buckshot and Boot Camp Clig, had the E Brothers, Madliner, J. Rue the Damager. Oh, I'm telling you, New Jersey Drive, Volume 1 and Volume 2 were just so hard. Organized Confusion was even on it, and Biggie's song with Total, Can't You See? That was definitely on there, so definitely New Jersey Drive is number 3. Number 2. This one has a lot of controversy. The movie, Hype Williams, we talking about Belly, DMX, Nas, Method Man, Grand Finale track where they sampled the NWA beat is on there. Jay-Z's on it, Ja Rule before, you know, he started singing and everything. So I gotta go with Belly as number 2, man. Oh, I love this soundtrack. It was so well put together. Even D'Angelo's song I actually like. I'm not a big R&B fan, but that soundtrack was just banging. For now, before we get into my number 1, here's a few honorable mentions.
Third eye watching you, watching me, throwing rocks from the penalty box. Cop a plea, young G, we was born to die. Don't cry for me, just keep the heat closely and ride for me. Cause we family for better or worse. You and I from the dirt, used to snatch purse. So hard it hurt to be here. And each year, I'm pouring out more beer for deceased peers. Holding fort, police line do not cross. They found his corpse in the loft with the head cut.
Okay, so now we down to my number 1 soundtrack of all time, hip hop. Okay, y'all heard me name drop Wu-Tang several times on here, but Wu-Tang is not on this number 1. But I gotta go with this movie. I actually love this movie, period. It had a lot of good actors in it and everything. I gotta go with Above the Rim, West Coast. Suge Knight, executive producer, but Snoop got like 2 or 3 tracks on there. Dog Pound's on both of them with him. Tupac actually has 3 songs. He's on 3 tracks on here. One of them is the main one that I really love. You cannot find it on the CD version. It was only cassette only, and we're talking about Tupac's Pain. He was also on Loyal to the Game with Treach for Naughty by Nature. He has also had the Thug Life track, Pour Out a Little Liquor. This soundtrack had Rage on it. This soundtrack also had a classic song, rest in peace Nate Dogg with Warren G. We're talking about Regulators. They sampled the Young Guns on there. Oh man, I love this soundtrack. It's so well put together. There's probably only 1 song on there I could skip. There's actually on the cassette version, there were 3 bonus tracks, including Lord G's My Money Right. And this soundtrack is just one of the greatest soundtracks I ever heard as far as hip hop. I love it, and those are my top 10 as far as music soundtracks. I hope you guys enjoyed this. There's some I may have left out, some I didn't include, like Deep Cover, due to I didn't like the soundtrack overall, but it had 1 classic song. So this was me putting all these soundtracks all together, like as a whole. So I gotta go with those top 10. Those are my favorites. You know, you guys leave comments. You know, I might have skipped 1 or 2, didn't even show it on my honorable mention. If I let the soundtrack out there, you know, hey, put it on there. Let's talk about it. Let's chit chat. Let's debate it if we can. But make sure y'all subscribe. I got more stuff involving movies. May have some stuff with music and stuff here and there. And I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.